Hey, everybody, what is going on? Your man Big B here, just checking in with you guys. Got back in town. Super Bowl is later on today, and quite frankly, every one of us Pittsburgh Steelers fans need to be rooting for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't care what anybody else says. We should be rooting for the Seahawks 100%. 100. We don't want the Patriots to have more Super Bowls than us. That's a thing. Is it a petty thing? Probably. But still doesn't mean it's not a thing. It is 100% a thing. So I am all for the Pittsburgh Steelers keeping that mantle. Even though it's tied, it's still a mantle. I don't want to give it over to the Patriots. I don't. I don't want to give it over to them at all. So we should all be Seahawks fans. Every single one of us. And not only that, I think the Seahawks are actually going to win. I think they're going to win. And, the Steelers played both of these teams. So here's something to think about. You remember the games between the Patriots and the Seahawks. They were back to back. We played the Seahawks at home, and then the next week we went to New England. We lost to the Seahawks. We beat the Patriots. And how we lost to the Seahawks, the offense didn't do it, or actually it was the defense, couldn't stop the run. Sam Darnold threw it all over the lot. They killed us. But the Steelers were in the game until Caleb Johnson made that idiotic play on the kickoff, and they scored a touchdown, and then that was basically it. But other than that, the Steelers were there. We were in the football game, had an opportunity. And against the Patriots, look, we couldn't stop their tight ends. They ran the football at will, but we created 5 turnovers. We also sacked, Drake May. I think it was 6 times. So we got after the quarterback, created basically all of those turnovers, and ended up winning the game 21-14. So let's think back. Are we that far away? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we that far away from being able to compete? That's my only question. Are we that far away? I still think the answer is yes. I think those were early football games that the Steelers, everybody hadn't figured out who and what they were as of yet. So if I had to say, hey, how far away? Yeah, the Steelers are still a long way away from that, man. They're a long way away from that, which is okay. That's okay. But we got some work to do. We got work to do. Got to solidify the O-line. Got to get some wide receivers. Linebackers. We got some work to do. And that kind of goes without saying that we need a quarterback, or at least the decision on quarterback, which it seems that it looks like Aaron Rodgers may be coming back. I don't know, man. First off, I'm a Steeler fan, so when the games start anyway, I'm going to be forced to root, one way or another. I'm just past it. I'm past Aaron Rodgers. So I'm over Aaron Rodgers and what he does. So I think we can do better. And if we really are going to give, Will Howard an opportunity, how long are you willing to wait for that? Are you saying, hey, bring Aaron Rodgers back for this year and let the real competition be next year? Well, I can tell you this right now. If the Steelers draft a quarterback in the first round next year, Will Howard ain't going to get a chance to start then either, people. I hate to break that news to you. But if the Steelers draft a quarterback in the first round next year, Will Howard, if he doesn't play this year, he's not getting an opportunity next year. That's not how this thing works. So whether we think that he should or not, it's not how it works. My main man, Tom, been a member for 8 months, man. Thank you, Tom. We appreciate your support, brother. Thank you very much. So KTB Said, I think with big weapons and the offensive scheme, Aaron Rodgers would play way better. He might. You don't really notice how much you miss a second wide receiver until you actually have a second wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like you don't notice missing it until you don't have it. And that's part of the issue. You don't even notice that you don't have one until you get one. So what's going on, Rob Bass? How you doing? Nah, when I mean the Patriots may win the game. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to. I mean, it's not going to hurt my feel. I have no dog in the fight, so it's not going to hurt my feelings one way or another if the Patriots win. I just don't want them to because I want the Steelers to be at least tied for having the most Super Bowls. That's all. I have no dog in the fight. I don't care. Yeah, either way. So that's my thing. Danny said Rodgers' best years were 2 decades ago. Maybe. At least one. What's going on, Mr. Dodd? How you doing, man? So Jason says if the Patriots win, the Steelers need to see this and follow their rebuilding plan. Well, here's the thing. The Patriots got a quarterback that they drafted in the first round, I might add. And they had a bunch of money and they had picks. The Steelers got money and they got picks. The Steelers can figure it out. The Steelers can absolutely figure it out. You got to spend some money the right way in free agency and draft the right guys. But also, what the Patriots have always been willing to do is make the tough decisions. The Steelers haven't been willing to make tough decisions. So until they are, things will be tough. They got to be willing to make tough decisions. And we all know what those tough decisions can mean and what they are. But until the Steelers are willing to make it, it is what it is. So Rob Bass with a good comment said, Big B, I know you're out on PQ, but new DC and new scheme, maybe he thrives. Thoughts? Well, first off, I think you're right. I talked about that in a podcast. It wasn't last week. I think it was a week before. Is that with a new defensive coordinator and he might look different. You know, putting him in a better position to thrive and do the things that he does best. That's a possibility. Because again, Patrick Queen, it's not like he's 32 years old. I think he's 27. So, look, I think I'm more out on Patrick Queen because of how much money the Steelers can save. I think that, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think his play's been that good, but I think one of the reasons why is because the Steelers can save so much money. $13 million, you know, that's a real thing. And where can they spend that? Because I still believe the Steelers could draft a linebacker early enough, plug them in, and you can spend that money somewhere else. Maybe a left guard, maybe a wide receiver, something. So that's my thing. Here's a good comment. Said maybe the Patriots getting 7 will make Rooney get up off his ass, but I doubt it. Rooney's making money. It's hard for me to believe that he's going to do a whole lot, man. So, Cooper Kupp or JSN, who catches the wing touchdown? I don't know. NFL is trash, yet I decided to waste my time and come into an NFL chat room to tell everybody that the NFL is trash. Boy, there's people that lose. Or Mr. Dodd says, hell no, he got to go. Talking about Queen. Can't have him and Wilson together. Not going to work in the 3-4. That's the whole thing. In a 3-4 scheme, 2 guys and neither one of them are the thumpers, that's a problem. That's a problem. So we'll see. What's going on, Robert? So, top five positions we need to draft. O line says KTV. O line, wide receiver, linebacker, QB, DB. I don't think it's in that order. Matter of fact, I'm positive it's not in that order. What's going on all this yapping? So, but yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I mean, O line. I mean, I still think we got to go wide receiver first. Sheesh, wide receiver first. Who has more watching the halftime show, Bad Bunny or Kid Rock? If Kid, I mean, I got my own thoughts on that, but I'm just gonna leave it alone. Kid Rock. Jeez Louise. Patrick Queen lack of tackling hurt the Steelers this year. Yes, it did, Jamie. Yes, it did. Mm-mm-mm. Who's better, DK Metcalf or Jalen Ramsey? Well, they don't play the same position, so I'm not sure how you compare them. Oh, no. Steelers fan says my brother is a Pats fan, so this offseason will be insufferable if Seattle doesn't win. I get it. How'd your brother become a Pats fan, man? Ugh. Yuck. Yuck, yuck, yuck. What do we think about Cam's tweet this morning? I didn't see Cam's tweet this morning. I was traveling. I don't know what it was. The Steelers' return to the Super Bowl game will be the greatest sports story ever. Yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily the case, Mean Green. The Pittsburgh Steelers are a storied franchise, so them returning to the Super Bowl is not going to be the greatest story ever. I think we just saw that when it comes to football with the Indiana Hoosiers. So I think we just saw that. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I'm having a good day, Tristan. So he got into football after the Super Bowl with the Butler INT. Can't call him a bandwagon, but it's definitely unfortunate. No, I get it, man. I get it. I get it. I get it. So KTB says, "How was your mom's B day?" Said, "I hope it was good. I hope you have something like that for my mom's 20." Hey, man, it was a good time. We had a bunch of people that I hadn't seen in forever, a bunch of her old friends, church friends, people we grew up around. It was a real good day yesterday. Thank you for asking. It was a great party and it was a good time. She had a good time. More importantly, she had a really good time. Mm-mm-mm. Man, Isaiah, just root for the Seahawks, man. Just root for the Seahawks. So just root for the Seahawks. I can't do, yeah, I can't do. Uh oh. Can with a closed book. Yeah, I'm not reading nothing into that. Cam's doing that because Cam wants more money. Closing the book. Cam wanted that book to be wide open if the Steelers said, "Hey, we're going to pay you $25 million this year." That book's going to open right up. So, your dad's 73rd birthday. Well, tell him happy birthday, man. Should Steelers go all in for Mac Jones? I don't think the Steelers have to go all in on Mac Jones. I think they can they can make. I think the Steelers should trade for Mac Jones, but I don't think they need to go all in on Mac Jones. No, hell no, hell no. You can trade for him and say you got to compete for the job, but I'm not going all in on Mac Jones. No. Yeah, y'all throw your game predictions in the chat. 28-24 Seahawks is what Mr. Dodd said. I think it's going to be like 27-23 Seahawks. Pats have the worst fans. They're not friendly bunch. I'll be rooting for the Seahawks, the Steelers. That's another story. I mean, yeah, I'm rooting for the Seahawks. Again, I don't have a dog in the fight. I just don't want the Patriots to have more Super Bowls than us. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Just don't want them to have more Super Bowls than we do. That's it. Isaiah, what color is the Gatorade? Don't they bet on that? Like, can't you bet on what color the Gatorade is going to be? So, 27-13 Seahawks, 35-27 Seattle, 21-14 Seahawks, 28-10 Seahawks, 26-20. Whew. KTB says 28-3 Seahawks come back and win 34-24. You think it's 40-17? Steelers. Oh, Danny says Steelers need to quit trying to revive the carriers of old player or careers. I think that's what you meant to say, of old players whose best years are long behind them. Well, other than TJ, what old players' careers are they trying to revive? I guess Aaron Rodgers, too. Mm-hmm. 34-24 Patriots, 31-17 Seahawks, or 34-24 Seattle, I'm sorry. But to be honest, if the script is real, it's going to be 34-31 Seahawks. I don't know what. I haven't seen a script that says anything like that. 21-20 Pats. Yuck. I hate it. I hate it. I just don't want them to win. I think Seattle's defense is going to eat up May, like the defenses before that. Yep. Chargers had no O-line. Stroud was Stroud, and Broncos had no QB. I mean, it's easily one of the luckiest roads to a Super Bowl I think a team has ever had. One of the luckiest roads that we've seen. Not to mention that you look at the Patriots regular season, they didn't really play anybody. Just, not great. Not great. Yeah, they definitely had a cupcake schedule. Absolutely. Cupcake schedule, then the playoff road, and here we are. And again, if Denver just had a competent quarterback, they beat the Patriots. They just didn't have a competent quarterback. Jared Stidham? Oh, my goodness. Just no competent quarterback. If they'd have had a competent quarterback, Denver would have beat them. But it is what it is, unfortunately. That's not right, real. Kirk Cousins to the Steelers, no more has-beens. Just go with Howard and Rudolph. Well, Rudolph is a has-been, but My thing is, look, I joke a lot. I like to joke with you guys. I like to have a lot of fun. If the Pittsburgh Steelers bring in Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback, I'll have to have a real conversation with the producer on whether we need to keep this channel alive. Because the Steelers wouldn't even be trying at that point. They're not even trying to win. They're not even trying to compete. Like seriously. Like what if they were to bring in Kirk Cousins as the starter? Like they wouldn't even be trying to win. Not at a high level. Now, you could probably win 8, 9, maybe even 10 games with Kirk Cousins, but you can't win in the playoffs. Mm-mm. Can't win in the playoffs. You damn sure can't win big games. So, I said if Tebow was playing quarterback, they win by 50 billion points. Yeah, Bo Nick's getting hurt. It killed the Broncos. My hometowns, Pittsburgh and Portland, are on the same page tonight. Art Rooney put our Lombardi lead in jeopardy. Yes, he did. Kirk Cousins. But yeah, if Cousins is the Steelers quarterback, we're not even trying, people. Like seriously, we're not trying. We are not trying. But we'll see. Anything can happen, man. I don't put anything past anybody these days. I used to do that all the time. I don't put anything past anybody these days, man. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to get Malik Willis for a reasonable price. I don't think that's going to happen. Mm-mm-mm. Hank says they don't have anything in place to make a QB out of Howard. How is that? What do you mean they don't have anything in place to make a QB out of him? I highly doubt we sign Rodgers. No, I wouldn't say we highly doubt. I wouldn't say that. I mean, it may not happen, but I don't know. I just don't want the Steelers to sign Rodgers again. I want to get on with it. That's what I want to get on with it. If Will Howard can play, let's see if he can compete and win a job. But he's not even going to get an opportunity if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. And for all the Will Howard lovers, here's the thing. Let's just say Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback this year. The Steelers are going to take a quarterback in the first round next year. They're not going to let Will Howard compete with that guy. That's not going to happen. So I think the opportunity for Will Howard to win the job is this year. I think it's this year. And Aaron Rodgers gets in the way of that. But there is not a chance in hell that the Steelers draft a quarterback in the first round. He is going to be on the depth chart ahead of Will Howard. Just no ifs, ands, or buts. If Will Howard doesn't play this year, that is going to happen. Which, again, for all the Will Howard lovers out there, that's going to suck for you because you're never going to see him get an opportunity with the Steelers. So I would say if you're a Will Howard guy and you want to see what he can do, you got to be rooting against Aaron Rodgers coming back to the Steelers. I hope we're not waiting around for Aaron Rodgers again. The word on the street is he got to have a decision made by March 1st. If he doesn't have a decision by March 1st, the Steelers do need to just move on and just go a different direction. That would be my thing. Just move on. So, KTB says Will Howard's going to be another Landry Jones if you don't win the job this year. You might be right. You might be right. Or another Mason Rudolph. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what you got to hope for if you are a Steelers fan. You got to hope that the Seahawks win the game. I have no patience with the Patriots. First of all, if anything, it should show the Rooneys you can rebuild your team because the Patriots were far worse than the Steelers. And they're in the Super Bowl 2 years later. Hell, not even 2 years later, a year later, they are in the Super Bowl. And now, however they got there, whatever we want to say, well, they had a soft schedule, they got fortunate in the playoffs, yada, yada, yada. They're still in the Super Bowl. However the hell they got there, they're there. If the Steelers get there by the same path, are we going to complain? I'm sure some people will complain. But it ain't going to matter. We're there. So you can rebuild your team in a year. You can do that. You just have to have the right coach in place and paying the right players. That's it. Got to have a good roster. But it can happen. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. KTB says if you could choose any QB that aren't franchise QB, which QB would you take to start for us to give us a chance to really compete this year? I mean, are you talking about free agents? Because I don't know that I would take one. I don't know that a quarterback in the draft can help us win next year. The only one, I like Drew Aller better than I like any of the quarterbacks in the draft. I like him better than anybody. He's not going to get drafted as high as anybody, but that's who I like. But I don't know. I still think that Mac Jones has something in the tank. I think he got a raw deal with the Patriots. And hell, when they were actually trying with him at the Patriots, they made the playoffs. So I think he got a raw deal there. I think he showed a little something this year. I wouldn't be mad that if the Steelers went out and traded for him. I wouldn't be mad at all and let him compete with Will Howard. That's what I would do. Yeah, I'd like Drew Aller. I think he's better than all of them, but I don't think this QB class is worth a damn, quite frankly. So. But that's just me. Kyler Murray, no. I'm out on Kyler Murray. So. I am out. Yeah, Kyle, that's what I think. You can trade a 5th or a 6th round pick for Mac Jones. Easily. Go bring him in. Let him compete. I think. Do I think Aller is better than Mendoza? Yeah. I don't think Mendoza is going to be that good in the NFL. It's just my thoughts. I could be wrong. I just don't think Mendoza's I'm not high on Mendoza. Like I said, I don't think any quarterback in this draft is great. I don't think so. But, I mean, here's the thing about Mendoza. Nobody was talking about him even being a good quarterback coming into this season. Nobody even talked about him being even any good. And then he gets into a system where he looks good. Then all of a sudden, I have to believe that he's the best quarterback in the draft after just being in a system for 1 year. I'm just not. I don't know. I watched him play football last year. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Preseason, Michael, doesn't mean anything, man. He balled out against a bunch of guys that were working at FedEx and UPS the next week. And Skylar Thompson, we've seen him get an opportunity in the National Football League. It doesn't look good. And that's a nice way of saying it, that it doesn't look good. No, I don't want Tua. No, I don't want Kyler Murray. No. Damn, I would take Kyler Murray 10 times before I took Tua, though. I don't want any part of Tua. My goodness. He's short, injury prone, noodle arm. No. You think Tua can throw the football in windy Pittsburgh? Hell no. Hell no. So. Hell no. Yeah, well, hold on, Topaz. Hold on. Topaz said bring back Justin Fields before Tua. Hold on now. Hold on. Justin Fields, So I don't think the next 5 years are going to suck at all, Hank. I mean, why do the next 5 years have to suck? Like, do the Steelers have just a bad football team? That they don't. We got a ton of picks and a ton of money. Why would the next 5 years suck? Fields is worse than Tua. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I would again. I wouldn't take Tua if Tua paid me. So what do you think I believe? Justin Fields is terrible. He's been terrible on 3 teams. So would I take Ty Simpson at 53? Maybe. I guess it would depend on what the Steelers did in free agency at quarterback. If we already have a starter and we made that decision, no, absolutely not. Because I'm not sure that any of these quarterbacks are starter material that's in this draft. And since they're not, get a free agent or whatever you have and build your roster up around the quarterback. That's what I would do. So, but man, I appreciate y'all being in here. I got to run. I got some stuff I got to do. I've been gone. So I appreciate y'all. Make sure you show up tomorrow morning. We will be live ranting. So appreciate you all getting in where you fit in. Monday and Tuesday will be at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. We will be on in the morning. I'm sure we'll be talking about what happened in the Super Bowl and all that good stuff. Big show on Tuesday. I won't be there. I will not be there for the big show on Tuesday. So we'll get all of that figured out. I have got a prior engagement I've got to run to. So appreciate you guys, man. Y'all have fun. Be safe tonight. Don't do anything stupid. It's just a Super Bowl. No reason to go crazy and get into any trouble or get hurt or hurt somebody else, man. It's just a Super Bowl. Y'all relax. So until next time, aloha.